Hello and welcome back to Monday Night Raw here in Universe Mode, and we are kicking things off with the Raw Women's Champion in action here tonight. Becky Lynch. Now, she has been a very dominant champion here in Universe Mode. Is looking to defend her championship at Clash of Champions. Now, the moment being, it is looking like that challenger will be Rhea Ripley after Rhea's huge win after Charlotte Flair last week, but nothing is confirmed just yet, but that is very likely going to be a new challenger for Becky Lynch. But before we get started on this week's episode, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal to keep this all going, and it is greatly appreciated. But Becky Lynch today going up against the debuting Carmella here in Universe Mode. Carmella looking to get a huge win over the Raw Women's Champion, looking to get some big momentum going forwards. Maybe Carmella can be the woman to face Becky Lynch at Clash of Champions. But let's get the action started here. Becky Lynch versus Carmella in this one. Easing out at the beginning, trying to find who's going to get that early advantage, and it is Carmella getting that advantage early on over the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. A very dominant champion here in Universe Mode. Has held onto that belt since the very beginning of Universe Mode. No one has managed to take away that championship from Becky Lynch. To not say that she hasn't lost some matches, she certainly has lost a couple, but whenever it's been a championship defense on the line, Becky Lynch has been on top of her game and managed to hold on to it. Just like I said earlier last week, we did see Rhea Ripley defeat Charlotte Flair, potentially getting herself into a match with Becky Lynch at Clash of Champions. Nothing has been confirmed yet by Batista, but we will have to wait and see on that. But if that does happen, it could be very interesting indeed. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley have faced off before at Extreme Rules, in an Extreme Rules match for that Raw Women's Championship. But honestly, the Extreme Rules section of that match really was the issue for Rhea Ripley. Rhea was looking very good in that match, but didn't really know how to deal with all the weaponry, how to really catch Becky. Whenever she would go to use a kendo stick or a chair or whatever, Becky Lynch would reverse and be able to get the advantage back, use the weapon herself, and that was how Becky managed to retain in that situation. But you can't look past what Becky Lynch has managed to do in Universe Mode. Generally, she's gone through so many competitors, going through Ember Moon, going through Rhea Ripley, going through, obviously most recently, Sonya Deville at SummerSlam. And still Becky Lynch has managed to hold on to that championship. And Carmella is seeing how tonight, but Carmella just managing to roll out of the way of that leg drop there. But Becky Lynch not allowing Carmella to be able to make the most of it. Straight back on the offense, taking Carmella down again, working on the arm of Carmella. Going for an early pinfall, perhaps no, instead Becky Lynch working over that arm, looking to lock in that, disarm her sooner than later. This would be a huge upset for Carmella if she could manage to get this tonight. It is not particularly likely, seeing how things are going so far, but you never know. Carmella could pick up a huge upset here tonight, and that would be a great deal. A huge shock that would be to the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch if Carmella could somehow manage to defeat her tonight in this one-on-one competition. Carmella trying to climb over to the ropes, so Becky Lynch not allowing it again. Really working over the arm. Becky completely focused on the arm in this match. Not wanting Carmella. Wait a second. Exploder suplex. Also, interestingly with Becky, a lot of her matches have actually ended with either that Exploder suplex or the Uranagi. Kind of surprising to see that this arm really hasn't been the actual finish to the matches typically. But Becky Lynch calling Carmella up to her feet. But no, Carmella getting over the top, reversing the momentum that Becky Lynch trying to get there. Carmella again, second time in a row managing to get over the top. Carmella now trying to turn things around, get momentum back on her side in this. Becky Lynch perhaps progressing, not going for a pinfall now after that Exploder suplex, but Carmella using this opportunity to get herself back on top in this match. Taking Becky up to the top rope. What is she going to be thinking here? Wait a second, Carmella. A huge Hurricane Rana off the top rope. My goodness. Carmella going down for the pinfall. Is that going to be enough? 1, Not even a 2 count there for Carmella. My goodness indeed. Carmella though needs to not waste time. She needs to keep on going at Becky Lynch. Wait a second, over the top into the code of silence. Is that going to be enough to tap out Becky Lynch? The code of silence, can that be enough? Is Becky Lynch going to be forced to tap out here? But Becky Lynch managing to roll through, escaping from that leg lock around the face of Becky Lynch. Wait a second, now submission now from Becky Lynch. Submission, disarmer, but too close to the rope. Carmella managed to get the other arm over to the bottom rope, preventing her from tapping out right now. Becky Lynch just unfortunate with her positioning in the ring just there. Has got to be very frustrating indeed for Becky. This match goes on. Becky Lynch though, another Exploder suplex. Is that going to be enough? Becky though deciding not to go for the pinfall right now, getting Carmella up to her feet. And there you go, blocking in that disarmer. She wants to make Carmella tap out, she does. Carmella, is she going to be able to hold on? Or is it being too much? Becky Lynch has really worked over the arm and this one there is too much for Carmella. Carmella forced to tap out in the middle of the ring to the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. A dominant victory there for Becky. May have been close for a second. Carmella got a bit more offense in then. I think Becky would have liked getting in that code of silence, that huge Hurricane Rana from the top. But it is all Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, continuing to be on top here on Monday Night Raw, the top woman in the division. And you can't blame her, she has definitely shown it in the ring every time. Becky Lynch standing tall here tonight. But wait a second, Rhea Ripley coming down. What is Rhea Ripley doing here? And attacking Becky Lynch from behind, my goodness. What on earth is Rhea Ripley thinking here? This is not okay. Rhea desperate for that title match. It seems like she wants to prove something tonight. She is just attacking Becky Lynch. Oh, brutal kick to the side of the face there of Lynch. But Rhea not giving Becky Lynch a second to get herself back to her feet. Pulling her back up and continuing to work on her and eat her feet there. Becky is really eating a lot of punishment from Rhea Ripley right now, but Becky Lynch managing to roll out of the way, catching Rhea Ripley, taking her down. Is Becky Lynch going to be able to get herself back in this? Becky looks like she's trying to get away from Rhea, but unable to get out of the ring. Rhea Ripley back on, suplex onto Becky Lynch. And this is definitely a message sent, but Becky managing to reverse the cutter. Rhea Ripley managing to avoid a forearm from Becky Lynch, then throwing her in the air. And Lynch comes crashing down to the mat. And Rhea Ripley, well, the message has certainly been sent here tonight. Rhea Ripley sending the message to Becky Lynch that she is going to take that Raw Women's Championship from her. My goodness indeed. But next up we have to welcome back to Monday Night Raw, No Way Jose. The party train is back on Monday Night Raw. Of course, Jose last seen after he was destroyed by Baron Corbin, one of the many victims of Baron Corbin's train of domination on Monday Night Raw before, of course, he lost his contract, losing to Batista in a Hell in a Cell match, a brutal Hell in a Cell match. But now we see he's going to be facing a difficult opponent here tonight. It is the return of Sheamus. And Sheamus looking to gain some momentum on his side.
Weighing in at 267 pounds.
You got to think Sheamus. It's going to be a very difficult one for No Way Jose. Sheamus is going to be looking to prove something here. Prove that he is a strong, dominant force here. Of course, he hasn't lost anything so far. He's only had one match here in Universe Mode. Didn't lose it, but he is looking now to continue that streak. Continue proving that he is a major player here in Universe Mode. And No Way is a major fall victim to Sheamus here tonight. And it all started off very easily for Sheamus, getting those Irish curse back breakers over the knee 3 times to Jose. It was not going well for Jose. Sheamus really knew Jose's number in this one. He was very dominant throughout, throwing Jose into the ropes, and the bro kick. But Sheamus deciding not to go for the pinfall, instead gloating to the audience and deciding to give them more of a show, slamming down the punches into the face of No Way Jose. Even though Jose was already beaten, he continued to brutalise him, throwing him into those steel steps on the outside. And an Irish, and what was Sheamus looking for here? I apologise. Yes, he's going for that. Oh, that white noise to No Way Jose on the side. And he continued to beat up on Jose, hitting his head into those ring posts. Jose was completely out of it at this point. Sheamus could have pinned him off that bro kick that happened about 30 seconds into this match. And instead, Sheamus kept on attacking Jose, kept on throwing him into the steel steps, hitting his head into the ring post, making it so that Jose was cut open, and another bro kick then gets him in the ring for a third bro kick to No Way Jose. And finally Sheamus says, that's enough. Brutal victory from Sheamus. And you got to say, you're not going to be seeing No Way Jose around here anymore. But Sheamus did have something to say after this match, had a message. Aleister Black, prepare to have your head kicked off. Sending a message to the US champion Aleister Black. It looks like Sheamus is looking to get that US Championship match and wants to face Aleister Black at Clash of Champions. But first off, we're going to have to welcome a new tag team here to Monday Night Raw. The world's strongest men, Titus O'Neil and Mark Henry. A new tag team here looking to get some momentum here on Raw. And this is going to be their first match here tonight. So they are going to be having a tough time. They're going up against two men who are looking for revenge this week. Two men who are looking for some answers after what happened last week on Raw. In case you missed it, AJ Styles was out in the ring. He was cutting a promo. And while he was being very courteous to Aleister Black, Aleister Black, of course, beat him at SummerSlam, proved that he was the better man, and AJ Styles admitted it. And AJ admitted that and said he wanted to go back after his WWE Championship, whether that be Drew, whether that be Sami, whether that be Kevin Owens. He wants back after that championship. But before he could finish what he was saying, the Fiend appeared in the ring. And it wasn't just the Fiend, Matt Hardy appeared as well. Fiendish Matt Hardy. They destroyed AJ Styles in the middle of the ring. The twist of fate and the mandible claw, and AJ Styles disappeared from the ring after that. And the club, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, obviously very close with AJ Styles, and they do not know where he is. And they are desperate for answers. They need to know what is going on with the Fiend and AJ Styles. And they have issued the challenge to Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy that they're going to face them at Clash of Champions. They're going to take away their tag team championships, and they're going to find out what is going on with AJ Styles and bring him back, no matter what it takes. That is the message from the club. But I can tell you now, we do have an update on what is going to be happening next week on Raw. So after last week's interaction between the Fiend, AJ Styles and Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy has decided he has had enough. He has not got a clue what is going on with Matt Hardy. Of course, Matt Hardy was changed after he had a match with the Fiend. He came back as Fiendish Matt Hardy. And while Jeff Hardy wants to save his brother, so he has issued the challenge to the Fiend next week on Monday Night Raw. And our main event, it will be Jeff Hardy versus the Fiend, and then we will be moving forward to Clash of Champions, where it will be the club versus Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. No matter what condition Jeff's in after that match with the Fiend, the match will be happening for the Raw Tag Team Championships at Clash of Champions. But also next week we will be having a United States #1 contenders match, and I can tell you, Sheamus will be in that match. Sheamus wants to get a piece of Aleister Black, and while he's getting his opportunity, the next week in a US #1 contenders match. We will also next week be finding out who will be fighting for those women's tag team champions at Clash of Champions. Of course, Dakota and Nia Jax, the SmackDown team, won the titles. Next week on Raw, we will be having an invitation to SmackDown. A SmackDown team will be coming over to fight against a Raw team, and whoever wins that match will be going on to fight Dakota and Nia at Clash of Champions for those women's tag team championships. As well as that, of course, we do have Sami versus Kevin versus Drew for the WWE Championship. And we will see Sami and Kevin in our main event here tonight. Of course, last week they were still brawling backstage. They still cannot get over this rivalry that they have. It was not good. Drew McIntyre was in the ring having a match with Kane, an open challenge for his WWE Championship, when we went backstage and saw Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn brawling. Still, they cannot get over this betrayal that Kevin Owens put on Sami Zayn. And tonight, Kevin Owens is bringing out two men of his choosing, two men that he has hired to be his personal security. AOP, the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Kevin Owens has supposedly hired these two as his new security. And while Sami Zayn has managed to find some like-minded individuals in the Usos to come out and support him in this six-man tag we have in our main event tonight. We need to see what happens with that one. But back to the action at hand, and wait a second, Kyle Anderson taking advantage right now, blatantly cheating. 2-on-1 situation to Mark Henry right there to get Luke Gallows back in this match. The world's strongest men were looking quite strong. They were managing to get some offense in this one, but Kyle Anderson running in the ring there to cause a, well, not even a destruction, just a blatant attack on Mark Henry to give Luke Gallows back some momentum in this match. And now Luke looking to work over the leg of Mark Henry, taking advantage, now tagging in to Kyle Anderson right now. I think it's a very interesting team, the world's strongest men. I think they could definitely be looking for some big things in the future, potentially some tag team gold. But of course, we are moving forward to Clash Champions with the club facing the Hardys for those tag team championships. But while strongest men get a few wins under their belts, I could definitely see them as future contenders and maybe future champions for those championships. And of course, if they beat the club tonight, and then the club go on to beat the Hardys at some Clash of Champions, well, that would be definitely be a very easy way for these guys to get a tag team opportunity. If they were just like, well, we beat you in a regular tag team match. So Carl trying to dive in and get Mark Henry, but Mark managing to get the tag to Titus O'Neil before it happened. Now Carl Anderson floating on air. Magic from Carl Anderson there. Into Luthez Perez onto Titus O'Neil. And yes, this team was formed due to the fact that Mark Henry apparently saw quite a lot of potential in Titus O'Neil. He wants to train Titus to be the next Mark Henry here in Universe mode. And while both these men definitely could use the shift in momentum that this could bring about for them, but this could be the end here. We are setting up for the Magic Killer. Kyle Anderson, Luke Gallows, Magic Killer. And is that enough to put away Titus O'Neil? Mark Henry on the outside, back to his feet. 1, 2. Just breaking up in time does Mark Henry. Unbelievably close there. It was 2.9 and Mark Henry managed to get in the ring, breaking up that Magic Killer. But Gallows now pulling Mark Henry in the ring. That strength of Gallows to pull him over the top rope like that. And now a huge karate chop to the back of the head of Mark Henry. And they're trying to go for a choke slam onto Titus, but Titus manages to reverse it. So what was Kyle Anderson doing on the outside? Kyle Anderson getting a chair on the outside, now trying to get in the ring, but the referee not allowing it after the actions that we saw earlier in this match. But wait a second, Kyle Anderson dropping the referee. Come on, this is not okay. That is not how we do things here. So Kyle now going for that chair. What is Kyle Anderson thinking right now? This is not okay. Kyle Anderson, oh, chair shot to Titus O'Neil. The referee was still down there. The referee didn't see it. Well, the club did say by any means necessary, didn't they? They want to know what's going on with AJ Styles and win those tag championships, and they want to do it no matter what the cost. But this is not okay. This is not how things should be going. A cheap attack to Mark Henry earlier in the match by Luke Gallows, by Carl Anderson I should say. It was always, I think, Carl Anderson both times. And again, Carl Anderson hitting a chair to the head of Titus O'Neil. Ridiculous stuff here from the club, and sure, I understand they're angry, they're desperate, they need to know what's going on with their best friend AJ Styles, but this is not how you do it. This is not how you get answers, boys. It's not like the world's strongest men had anything to do with this. They're just here to try and get some momentum, try and get a big first win as a tag team. They had nothing to do with AJ Styles getting taken by the Fiend. Absolutely ridiculous. Carl Anderson now throwing Titus into the corner, but Titus managing to get the reverse, preventing the tag, but now Luke Gallows getting that cheeky little side tag to Carl Anderson while he's in the corner. Now taking down Titus O'Neil. Titus desperate for that tag, you've got to think. But Luke Gallows knocking Mark Henry off of the apron. And now throwing Titus into the corner. Is this going to be the second time for Titus O'Neil? I think it is, yes. It is going to be the second magic killer to Titus O'Neil. Is this going to be enough this time? Can Mark Henry save it once again? 1, 2, 3. But it took 2 magic killers. Blatant cheating by Carl Anderson, attacking Mark Henry, hitting Titus O'Neil with a chair. But the club pick out the big victory here tonight on their way to Clash of Champions to try and find out what is going on with the Fiend and AJ Styles. They will be facing Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Those tag team championships are searching desperately for answers to what's going on with AJ Styles. Of course, we will also be seeing next week the Fiend versus Jeff Hardy in our main event before Clash of Champions. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one. For the club standing tall here tonight and wow, I guess that was a message sent straight from the Fiend there. Well, AJ Styles seems like he's still alive and well, at least, I guess. But he is there with the Fiend, and I don't know what that means necessarily, but the Fiend sending a message of some sort to the club right there. And to Jeff Hardy, who will be facing next week in Raw's main event. But, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm a bit thrown by all that stuff with the Fiend just there. It's always a terrifying occurrence to see him on Raw. But we've got to move on with our action. We're seeing Andrade in action once again. And once again, he is joined by our General Manager Batista and Randy Orton. Once again, coming out to support Andrade in his match, but not wanting to make any comments on what's going on with this situation. But it does seem very clearly that Batista is looking into Andrade for something. He is very clearly very interested in Andrade as an in-ring competitor. Him and Randy keeping a very close eye. But of course, Andrade versus the Brian Kendrick here tonight. Andrade managed to have a lot of offense in the early part of this match, managing to eventually get to the Meteora, and it looked like it was all going to be over with the Hammerlock DDT, but Brian Kendrick managed to turn things around. Somehow Brian Kendrick pulled himself back into this match and ended up getting a lot of offense onto Andrade, eventually getting that captain's hook in, but it was too close to the ropes. That could have been it for Andrade, but Brian Kendrick didn't get his placement right. He went for the pin. 1, 2, so close to 2.999. Brian Kendrick so close to beating Andrade, but Andrade had enough. He got rid of the referee and then hit a low blow to Brian Kendrick. The referee got back in the ring, missed all of it, didn't see what had happened. Just thought that Andrade had hit him by mistake. But then Andrade called for the end, and this time it was a hit to Brian Kendrick. Andrade getting that big victory here tonight. 2, 3, and Batista seemingly not necessarily that bothered by the dirty offense of Andrade there. But you got to say that is looking good for Brian Kendrick. He managed to take Andrade to the limit in that one. He managed to make it so that Andrade had to go low to pick up the big victory here. But hopefully soon we'll get some update on what is going on here with Batista, Randy Orton and Andrade. But now it is time for our main event of the evening. A big 6-man tag team match. It's going to be the Usos and Sami Zayn teaming up for the first time ever here tonight. The Usos looking to get some good old momentum here. Momentum is always the name of the game here in Universe Mode, and the Usos could desperately use some, it has to be said. They're here tonight teaming up with the former WWE Champion Sami Zayn, and of course at Clash of Champions it is going to be a triple threat match. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens for that WWE Championship after Drew McIntyre cashed in on Sami Zayn at the end of SummerSlam. But Sami and Kevin is a very personal rivalry between those two. It has been very brutal indeed. Kevin Owens betraying Sami Zayn, betraying his former friend, his former best friend. They were former tag team champions together. But Kevin Owens, he had enough after Sami Zayn won that WWE Championship. He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take Sami having all the glory. Kevin brutally attacked Sami Zayn, taking him out for a week with bad, brutally injured ribs, which luckily have started to heal now. He doesn't have that rib tape on anymore. But at SummerSlam, when he came into that match, brutally being able to manage to catch Kevin Owens just to be able to get the victory here at SummerSlam. But it was too much, and then Drew McIntyre came and cashed in and won the championship. But Kevin Owens here tonight, he has hired some bodyguards, some new support to have with him. The AOP, Akam and Razor making their debut here in Universe Mode, and Kevin Owens has apparently paid them a lot of money to support him, to look after him, and you got to think, to inflict a lot of pain on Sami Zayn. Let's get the action started. We're starting off with Kevin Owens and Jey Uso in this one. Very respectful opening here, getting into a lockup between the two of them. I did expect Kevin Owens to potentially go for some just proper attack straight away. Didn't necessarily expect it to start so respectfully with how Kevin Owens has been recently. Kevin Owens managing to get the getting on top there, giving up on the lockup. Perhaps he wasn't doing as well as he wants to, giving up and then just punching Jey straight in the face. And now in comes one member of the AOP here, Akam, looking to do some damage to Jey in this one. And now punching him straight in the corner, getting the quick tag back into Kevin Owens. And now knees to the chest of Jey. There definitely would be a good strategy for these guys, would be to just isolate one of the Usos in this match, or isolate any of the other competitors and just keep working on them in the corner, not allowing them to get the tag over to either Jimmy or over to Sami. That would be the best ideal for Kevin's team here tonight. Jey though managing to throw Kevin into the corner. And what is Jey looking for here? Snake eyes onto the top turnbuckle there from Jay. And a huge chop, taking Kevin Owens off his feet down to the mat. And Jay now managing to throw Kevin Owens to the corner, accidentally knocking the ref down, but the ref is back up. And Jay not going for the tag, instead looking to do more damage to Kevin Owens, taking him up to that top rope in a seated position. And now what is Jay looking for here? Oh, it's super suplex there from Jey Uso. Kevin Owens though tagging out to Razor right now. I apologise, Akam back in the match once again. Jay still not tagged out on this one. He probably should be looking to do that sooner rather than later, but Akam is looking to not allow that to happen. Throwing down the punches onto Jay. But Jay managing to get a big reversal there, and now suplex over to Akam. Is he going to be looking for that tag? Nope. Still wanting to do this himself. No. Going for the tag. Tagging in to his brother Jimmy Uso right now. Jimmy in this match. Trying to take the action to Akam right now. Well, a basement drop kick there to Akam from Jimmy Uso. You got to think this was a smart move by Kevin Owens, hiring some security, especially after what's been going on the last week with Sami Zayn, and last week's that backstage brawl with Sami Zayn. If Kevin had had the AOP with him then, or Sami Zayn, even though Sami did take a package power driver from Kevin Owens, it probably would have been a lot worse for Sami Zayn. But Jimmy tried to go for a sleep hold there on Akam, but Akam managed to drop down and get out of that sleep hold, dropping him onto the shoulder of Akam. And now getting him up to the top. Kind of an angle slam of sorts to Jimmy Uso. Going for the pin for one. Only a 1 count there for Akam. Jimmy trying to punch down onto Akam, but Akam avoiding it, throwing him into the corner. Is he looking for the tag here? Yes, getting that tag into Razor. And what kind of offense are we looking for here? Throws him into him for a huge assisted powerbomb to Jimmy Uso, and he was not holding back in the slightest. No one. Now over the head. Oh, the strength of these men is ridiculous. They may not have much to say, but they don't need to. They do all of their talking right here in the ring. That's what I've learned from watching tonight, and he is really taking it to Jimmy Uso right now. This is not looking good for Jimmy. Going for that pinfall. What? Not even a 1 count right there. Continuing to pound on Jimmy, and now looking to get a tag. Tagging back into Kevin Owens. Now Kevin looking to take advantage. I think Kevin actually called over to Razor, telling him to tag him in. Wanting to work on Jimmy Uso while he was down on the mat, but Jimmy managing to get that reversal. And Jay tagging himself back into this match. We're back to the beginning too from this. Kevin Owens and Jey Uso once again, but Kevin getting the advantage. Oh, just being able to hold Jay up like that is ridiculous. The strength it takes to be able to deadlift him like that. Just a 1 count for Kevin Owens in this one. Jay has taken a lot of damage in this match. Sami Zayn probably would have been the smarter man to tag in. He is still not any action in this match, but wait a second. Wait a second. Getting in that submission there. Oh, that brutal submission, the way it bends your back. Worked over the leg and the arm. Everything getting worked over once in that one. It is a brutal submission, but Kevin managing to get that free leg to kick to the face of Jey Uso, managing to get out of that submission. What's Kevin looking for right now? Knocking Jay down and cannonball to Jey Uso in the corner. Is that going to be enough to put away Jay? Kevin Owens going for that pinfall, I believe. Yes, he is. Is that going to be enough for Kevin Owens? 1, 2. Only a 2 count there for Kevin over Jey Uso. Jay really needs to get that tag to Sami Zayn. Is he going to tag into Sami? Yes, he does. Sami and Kevin. This is what we've been waiting for. These two one-on-one again in the ring. Sami and Kevin. Sami taking it straight to Kevin, and Kevin returning that chop straight back to Sami Zayn. But Sami managing to get advantage, suplexing Kevin Owens over the top. And Kevin looking like he is desperate to get out of this situation right now. Managing to pull Sami down to the mat. 30 seconds. Yes, Kevin Owens, of course, wanting to get rid of Sami Zayn, wanting to get out of this match. I know I take it back. I take it back entirely. Kevin taking Sami to that top rope. And what is Kevin looking for here? Getting Sami over the shoulders of Kevin from the second rope. And oh my goodness. Those ribs of Sami Zayn are going to be in so much pain. A 2 count for Kevin. Sami somehow managing to kick out of that. Brutal there from Kevin Owens. Not wanting to leave anything to doubt. And now just dropping Sami down yet again. The way Sami Zayn getting the reversal, getting the kick to the gut of Kevin Owens. And over the top he goes. Sunset flip, powerbomb to Kevin Owens. Now Kevin desperate for that tag. Managing to tag in to Reza of the Authors of Pain. I know he's taken it to Sami Zayn. A huge clothesline to Sami, but Sami managing to kick up from the floor, knocking Reza unexpectedly down to the mat. And now Sami taking advantage of Reza right now. Huge drop kick to the face. But straight away, Reza was not taken aback by running straight back at Sami, taking him down. And now belly to belly suplex to Sami Zayn. Brutal there from Reza. And now pulling Sami out to his feet, not allowing Sami any rest. I'm trying to go for another big clothesline, but Sami managing to duck underneath it. Reza getting Sami up, dropping him over the knee, and Sami desperate for that tag. Managing to get the huge tag in. Reza also tagged over to Akan. But Jimmy Uso now, what is Jimmy looking for here? He's looking for that same submission that Jay went for earlier in the match. Really bending the back. But Kevin Owens managed to get in there and break up that submission. Now Jimmy working on the back of Akan right now. Plus think he can get in that submission once again. Super kick. Huge chop, taking him off his feet. Oh my goodness indeed. The Usos definitely looking good in this one. Proving something here tonight. Alright, so it looks like they're setting up for something big here with the Usos. Up he goes and down he goes. A little cheeky suplex there from Jimmy Uso. Akan looking for the tag, looking to crawl over and get that hot tag over to Kevin or to Reza. But instead not being able to. Jimmy, huge super kick. A massive super kick, and that could have taken him out. Akan could be out cold right now. 1, 2, 3 somehow. My goodness, Team Sami Zayn picking up the huge victory in this one. Unbelievable there. Jimmy Uso with that massive super kick to Akan, and that was enough to knock him out. Kevin trying to get in to break it up, but not quick enough, and you've got to think he's going to be very disappointed in this one. Maybe his security wasn't worth the purchase. But a big victory here tonight for Sami Zayn and the Usos. Royce and Kevin coming back into him. What is Kevin looking for here? Wait a second, is this going to be... The friendship is going to be back, but... Of course, Kevin Owens kicking low to Sami Zayn. This will never be over. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back next time here on Universe Mode. Thank you so much.